All right, so today I want to talk to you about what I believe is the #1 problem in the trucking industry. And I want to tell you right now that I personally don't think that you will ever see a fix to this problem. Is it fixable? Yes. But the question is it in the best interest of the whole to fix it? And I don't think so. So I don't think it will be fixed. I would certainly like you to comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. And if there is a fix, let us know. Tell us what it is. But I'm going to tell you why I don't think there's a fix to this problem. First of all, let's talk about how we got here. If we dial back to memories to the 1980 time frame, there was the Motor Carrier Act, the deregulation of trucking. And with the deregulation of trucking, there came an influx of people into the trucking business. Because what deregulation and the Motor Carrier Act of 1980 did was it made it much easier for someone to start a trucking business, to come into the trucking industry. Now, of course, anytime you make it easier to come into an industry like trucking, you make it easier so more trucks are available, you obviously devalue the trucking asset. Because the more trucks I have, the less valuable trucks are. Because they're plentiful. They're easy to come by. And when they're easy to come by, guess what happens? You got freight rates that are going to be decreased because it's a supply and demand issue, right? So the #1 problem in trucking is that freight rates are too low. And the reason why you will not solve that problem is because there are just too many trucks in the trucking industry as a whole. And I know you have people, some people will say, oh no, Brandon, there's not enough trucks. I saw it. The American Trucking Association says that there's not enough trucks. Yeah, I know that's what they say. I think they say there's something like 80,000 short. But that just doesn't pass the common sense test to me. Because if there were a shortage of trucks, then that would tell us that rates would increase. Because it's hard to find trucks. You know, if there's a shortage, then if they can't find trucks, if there's not enough trucks, the rates are going to go up because the value of the asset will increase. It's a simple supply and demand issue. We got a whole lot of supply and not enough demand for the supply, so the rates are going to go down. That's where we are. Now, yeah, of course, you're going to have times where rates go up and rates go down. But we have been in a situation now for the last 2 years where rates have been on the bottom, right? And I don't really see a whole lot of improvement with rates. I know there are a lot of you truck drivers that say that the problem is freight brokers. I personally think that that is a little bit narrow to look at it and just say it's the freight broker. Is the freight broker a part of it? Sure, because anytime you have somebody in between you and your money, that person is always or could always be considered to be a part of the problem. So I get that. But using a freight broker is a choice. And when we really look at it, it is not, in my opinion, the freight broker that's the problem. It is how the system is structured. It is structured so that shippers have more than enough trucks available, way more than enough trucks available, so it drives their costs down. And when their costs are driven down, that means that your rates are driven down. What you're getting paid to move a load from point A to point B goes way down. So when we're looking at trucking and deciding whether or not to come into it, sometimes I think people think that you're going to come into trucking, you're going to make a whole lot of money, and some of you will. But you really need to look at the landscape of trucking to see how it works. Look at how the rating game works, freight rates. Understand the market before you come in. And then take a look at the rate history. You know, there's nothing wrong with dialing back and saying, hey, I want to look at the last 4 or 5 years, 5 years of how rates have been, right? And when you look at the top rates and compare those to the lowest rates, then look in the middle and see and say, hey, can I make $1? Can I make money at these rates? The average rate, can I make money at that rate? Because a lot of people come into this business and they're coming in based off of, oh, I'm going to be making a whole lot of money because rates are high. But what if rates are not high? What if rates are average? Can you still go in that space and make money? That's what I think you have to ask yourself. But I really don't think that there's a fix coming to the rate problem. The rate problem will always be. The question is, can you make money in the trucking industry even when rates are not where you would want them to be? You know, the best, when they're not the best that they can be, can you still make money, right? A lot of people can't. And that has to do with a lot of different things. Everybody's not a business person. Sometimes your costs are just too high. So you really have to look at this industry, I believe, as a whole, and then decide whether or not it's something you want to do. Let us know what you think. What you think of what we've labeled as the #1 problem in trucking. And let us know what you think the fix is to that problem. Thank you so much for listening. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, there's a free link in the description box. It'll give you access to my 5-video series. Shows me in the office moving freight, talking to shippers and carriers so you can get a better understanding of how the business works. Until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and your business. See you at the top, because the bottom is just a little bit too crowded.